heard of a tech company called Asta IT?
No. Well, get ready to be surprised.
Huh?
We're diving deep into their story, and it's not your average startup to tech giant tale.
What's really interesting about Asta IT is how they kind of flipped the script on where innovation comes from. I mean, we always hear about Silicon Valley, right?
Right.
This story starts in 2007 in Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Okay.
Just two people working from home.
Two people working from home. See, now that sounds, I don't know, almost cozy.
But this is where it gets interesting, right? Their very first project. Building a whole CRM system for a company in Sweden.
Wow.
Thinking globally right from the start.
That immediate international focus is really important, I think. It shows, like, real ambition from day one and a good understanding of how global the tech industry really is. They weren't just trying to build a local business. They were aiming for the world stage right out of the gate.
And they weren't messing around. Things start moving fast. 2008, they're officially Astha IT Research and Consultancy Ltd. registered company. A year later, they have an office, a team, and they're part of BASIS. Can you explain what BASIS is for our listeners?
Yeah, so BASIS, that's the Bangladesh Association of Software and Information Services. It's the organization for tech in Bangladesh. Being a part of BASIS, it's a stamp of credibility, gives them a network of potential partners, and it's a sign that they were serious about, playing in the big leagues.
So they're building credibility, they're making connections, but they're also securing those all-important contracts. Still, 2009, they land these long-term deals with clients in the US and Europe. That's some serious hustle in just their second year. What does it tell you about their approach, even this early in the game?
I think it reveals a few key things about them, even then. First, they clearly had a product those clients needed, and a good one. They had the technical skills to deliver on what they promised. And maybe most importantly, they had that business sense, to actually secure those contracts, especially in a global market that's already so competitive. Those weren't just lucky breaks, they were earning those successes.
Yeah, it's like they had a recipe for success, right?
Right.
But then it gets even more interesting. Remember BASIS.
Yeah.
2013 and 2014, they win Best Outsourcing Organization, 2 years in a row.
And those awards, those aren't just, participation trophies.
Right.
They were being recognized by their peers for doing consistently excellent work. This wasn't a fluke. It solidified their reputation, really showed their commitment to quality and client satisfaction.
So they're winning awards, they're obviously doing something right, but they don't just, rest on their laurels. This is where their story kind of takes a turn toward, I don't know, maybe strategic boldness.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Okay.
it goes back to that global vision they had from the very beginning, remember?
Right.
So in 2015, they make this really interesting move. They decide to partner with Super Geeks,
Super geeks.
the top tech company in Hawaii.
Okay, so we're not talking Silicon Valley here. We're talking super geeks in Hawaii.
Exactly.
It's not your typical tech partnership.
No. And that shows how they were looking for opportunity everywhere. They weren't limiting themselves. And then, just a couple of years later, they launch Sauce Ventures.
So what's the story with Sauce Ventures?
Sauce Ventures was this joint venture. It brought Astha IT together with some other big players in tech. This wasn't just about getting bigger. It was strategic. They wanted to be at the forefront of that whole SaaS industry that was starting to boom.
They were thinking ahead.
Yeah, they were anticipating where the market was going, which is smart.
So to recap, they're growing, they're making these key partnerships, they're on top of all the industry trends. But let's talk about 2018 for a second. It feels like a big year for them.
Oh, 2018 was huge for Astha.
Yeah.
They launched their own cloud platform. That's a massive project.
Right. It takes some serious technical know-how to do that.
Oh, absolutely. And this wasn't just offering services anymore. Now they were a platform provider.
That's a whole different level. They really upped their game.
They did. And that same year, they celebrated their 10th anniversary.
They had this big celebration, right?
Yeah.
But there was this one detail that I found really interesting. They invited all their former employees and their families. That just struck me as unusual, even for a company with a really strong culture.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about them as a company. It tells me they really value their people. Their success wasn't just about the technology, it was about the people behind it. They were trying to create a legacy, something that went beyond just showing up to work every day.
And that makes you wonder, how much did that culture, that sense of community, help them weather the storms that were coming? Because, 2020 happened.
2020 was tough. A global pandemic will definitely test any company.
Yeah, no kidding.
But Ask the IT, they won an award that year from BASIS for Export Excellence.
So they didn't just survive, they thrived.
Exactly.
It's incredible. It shows how adaptable they were. They could excel even with all the uncertainty. But of course, they didn't stop there. In 2021, they established Astha IT Services AB, their own subsidiary, with headquarters in Stockholm. So they're back in Sweden, but this time it's on their terms. It's like a full circle moment.
It's more than just coming full circle. It's strategic.
Hmm.
They're establishing a strong presence in a really important tech hub.
They're really putting down roots in Europe. And then 2022 comes along. They get ISO 9001.2015 certified. Now, for those of us who don't speak fluent business jargon, what does that actually mean?
Basically, it's a really big deal for any business. It's a globally recognized standard all about quality management. When a company has this certification, it tells clients, partners, everyone, they're serious about quality.
It's a mark of trust.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're setting up shop in Europe, getting these big international certifications. And then, this is the big one. In 2023, right before their 15th anniversary, they moved their headquarters to the United States.
Wow.
From Dhaka to the U.S. in 16 years.
That's a statement.
It's amazing what they've accomplished. We started this deep dive asking us who, and now I have to ask, how do they do it? What stands out to you as, the secret ingredient to their success?
It's easy to focus on all those achievements. The awards, the partnerships, the headquarters move. And those are all impressive, don't get me wrong. But what really sets this company apart, I think it's a little harder to define, it's their vision, their ability to adapt, and their commitment to building a company culture where people feel valued.
They created an environment for success.
Exactly.
It's inspiring. So for our listeners out there who might be hearing this story and thinking, wow, I want to be a part of something like that, what's the takeaway? What can we all learn from Astha IT's journey?
The story really shows us that innovation can come from anywhere. Geographic boundaries didn't really matter as much anymore, not with technology. And it proves that success. It takes more than just a good idea. It takes vision, tenacity, the willingness to learn and adapt along the way. Who knows what other amazing tech companies are out there right now, hidden in plain sight. Maybe you'll be the one to find them. Or better yet, maybe you'll be the one to start the next Astha IT.